Why is it that some men seem to effortlessly occupy a woman's thoughts, while others are forgotten the moment they leave the room? What I'm about to reveal will completely change how you think about attraction, but there's a problem most men don't even realize they have. I'll explain that problem in a moment, but first, let me tell you about the one thing that makes a woman think about you non-stop. It's not what you think it is. Most men believe it's about being charming, funny, or impressive. They think if they can just say the right things or showcase their achievements, they'll capture her attention. But they're focusing on all the wrong things, and I'll show you exactly why this backfires in ways you never imagined. The real answer is emotional unpredictability. But before you misunderstand this completely, there's something crucial you need to know about what this actually means, because most men get this dangerously wrong. I'm not talking about being toxic, manipulative, or playing games. That's the mistake that destroys everything. What I'm talking about is something far more powerful, something that taps into basic human psychology in a way that most people never understand. Think about this for a moment. When do you find yourself thinking about someone the most? Is it when they're completely predictable, when you know exactly what they're going to say or do next? Or is it when there's something about them that you can't quite figure out? The human mind is wired to solve puzzles. We're naturally drawn to things we can't immediately categorize or understand. But here's where it gets interesting, and this is the part that will change everything for you. Most men make themselves completely predictable, and they think this is attractive. They text at the same times, respond immediately to every message, always agree with her opinions, and never challenge her thinking. They believe this makes them safe and reliable. But what it actually does is something much worse than just being boring. It makes them invisible. You become background noise in her life. Pleasant maybe, even comfortable, but not compelling. Not the kind of presence that occupies her thoughts when she's alone. But the real problem goes deeper than this. And understanding this deeper issue is what separates men who are forgotten from men who are unforgettable. The deeper problem is that predictable behavior eliminates mystery. And without mystery, there's no reason for her mind to return to you. Her brain has already solved the puzzle of who you are. There's nothing left to figure out, nothing left to wonder about. But emotional unpredictability creates something psychologists call cognitive dissonance. This is mental tension that occurs when someone can't easily categorize you. Her mind keeps returning to you because there are unresolved questions, unexplored depths, aspects of your personality that don't fit into neat, predictable boxes. Now here's what emotional unpredictability actually looks like. But I have to warn you about something first. Most men who hear this concept immediately do it wrong. And when you do it wrong, it doesn't just fail to work. It actually makes you less attractive than being predictable. The wrong way is being inconsistent, unreliable, or playing hot and cold games. That's just emotional immaturity dressed up as strategy. The right way is something completely different, and it requires you to understand a fundamental truth about human attraction. True emotional unpredictability comes from being a complex, multi-dimensional person who doesn't flatten himself to fit someone else's expectations. It comes from having your own life, your own interests, your own opinions, and your own emotional depth. When you're with her, you're fully present. You engage deeply, you listen genuinely, you respond authentically. But when you're not with her, you're living your own life, pursuing your goals, spending time with friends, working on projects that matter to you. This creates natural space for her to miss you, to wonder what you're doing, to anticipate seeing you again. And that anticipation is where the magic happens. But there's a specific way this has to work, or it completely backfires. You're not withholding attention to manipulate her. You're simply being a person with your own full life, someone who doesn't revolve entirely around her presence or approval. And paradoxically, this makes you far more attractive than someone who's always available, always predictable, always eager to please. But here's the crucial part that most men miss. This only works if the unpredictability comes from genuine complexity, not from artificial scarcity or manufactured mystery. Think about the people in your own life who occupy your thoughts. They're probably not the ones who are completely transparent and predictable. They're the ones with hidden depths, unexpected reactions, the ability to surprise you even after you've known them for years. This means being genuinely interesting in ways she hasn't fully figured out yet. It means having opinions you're willing to defend, interests she might not share, aspects of your personality that don't always align with what she expects. It means being confident enough to disagree with her sometimes, secure enough to have your own plans when she's busy, interesting enough to have stories and experiences that don't revolve around her. But there's something even more important than all of this. When you do this consistently, something fascinating happens in her mind. She starts to see you as a complete person rather than just a reflection of her own desires or needs. You become someone worth thinking about, worth understanding, worth pursuing. She finds herself wondering what you thought about that conversation you had yesterday. She catches herself wanting to know your opinion on things even when you're not around. She starts noticing details about you that she wants to understand better. This is when you've truly captured her mental space. Not through grand gestures or constant attention, but through being genuinely interesting, genuinely complex, genuinely yourself in all your unpredictable humanity. But remember, and this is absolutely critical, this only works if it's authentic. You can't fake being interesting or force unpredictability. It has to come from actually being a person with depth, with your own life, with your own growth happening independent of any relationship. The moment you make this about manipulation or strategy rather than authentic self-development, it stops working. People can sense inauthenticity, and nothing kills attraction faster than the feeling that someone is performing rather than simply being. So if you want to be the person she thinks about when she's alone, focus on becoming someone worth thinking about. Develop your own interests, pursue your own goals, maintain your own friendships, and never lose yourself in the process of trying to win someone else. Be present when you're together, but live your own life when you're apart. Have opinions, express them kindly but firmly. Be vulnerable when it's genuine, strong when it's needed. Challenge her thinking while respecting her intelligence. Most importantly, remember that the goal isn't to manipulate someone into thinking about you. It's to become the kind of person who naturally occupies people's thoughts because you're genuinely interesting, complex, and worth knowing. When you achieve this balance, you won't just make her think about you non-stop. You'll create the foundation for something much deeper, a connection based on genuine interest, respect, and the beautiful complexity of two complete people choosing to share their lives together.